Hi, it's almost time for everyone's favorite part of the year, which is retrospectives about the year. I mean, what is the point of watching all of this anime and listening to all of this music if we can't put it into lists at the end? Of course, I'm kidding, but this is actually something I look forward to doing. A lot of the lists and stuff are probably going to come out like late January-ish after I get back from Japan. I don't like doing them any earlier than I have to, just because I want as much time as I can to get caught up on all of the media that was released and give artists an opportunity for, like last minute December 31st releases, which does happen sometime. But what I thought I could do now was a follow-up to a video I made last year where I just kind of looked at the year as a whole for me as a person. So this is kind of a more personal video. We're not going to be talking about media directly, but people seem to like the last one, so I thought I would do it again. So 2018, what was 2018 like for me? Um, the big defining thing, more than any other aspect of my life this year, that I'd say kind of ran the show in 2018 was my. Oh, I thought I would time that well, but I don't have this highlighted. It was my job. Yes. So I've been working full time for the entirety of 2018, the first year in my life where I worked the entire time. I didn't take any long vacations or anything like that. Just working 8:30 to 4:30, Monday to Friday, every week. Kind of sucks. I don't know. Just on those basic terms, the amount of time that a full-time job consumes, no matter what it is, no matter how much you like doing it, it is a really major, significant stamp on your life. Um, I've done a lot of strange things in order to try to recover what I see as lost time in working, some of them effective, some of them ineffective. I like keep a diary while I'm at work. But generally, the sense is that I'm just kind of like wasting my time. And I don't mean that in terms of like the impact my job is having. I actually feel quite happy. Oh, I should say, I don't know. I work for the government. I work for the government of Canada. I quite like that. I quite like the mandate of our agency that I work for. So I feel that my work is meaningfully contributing to a cause that I care about, but it's not enough for me. I would much rather be creating art or watching things or learning things. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And what I've found is that you might recall last year I made a graph showing my income levels and my stress levels as I kind of move through different positions in my workplace. So I've updated that graph. It's not looking good. Here you can see the baseline of money that I actually need to live. And ideally, I wouldn't really make that much more money than that. And as soon as I got the job, I was actually over that amount. And then through various promotions and stuff, I kept getting more and more money. But now money has leveled off. For about a year now, I've been in the same position. But the stress of the position basically just continually goes up. And I'm not a person that handles stress very well. I respond to stress existentially instead of practically. Like instead of addressing the things that are actually stressing me out and doing something about them, I find myself more just asking, why am I even here? Why am I working this job? I don't need to be making this much money. Look at all of my coworkers that are at the same pay grade as me. They have like houses and cars and families and children, all of which require tons and tons and tons of money. What am I doing here? And that, of course, is not the response you want to have in terms of getting things done, which just leads to more stress compounding on yourself, and it's not good. Um, but the thing is that it's not all bad either. As the stress has gone up, so has my kind of investment into the company, and then because of that, my communication and my level of connection with all the other people that I work with, who I've gotten to get to know better. I've made friends with. I even have a work friend now that I hang out with outside of work sometimes, which is crazy to me. That's something that I never really would have thought was possible. So I can kind of see how people get trapped. Um, on one sense, you have your financial obligations and responsibilities that make you kind of keep going back to the job, and then kind of as it gets worse, other aspects get better. As the actual work itself gets more stressful and demanding, the kind of commiseration and the camaraderie you have with the other people going through it gets stronger, and there's a greater sense of duty, I think, that comes from that. So I'm really kind of scared that eventually my mentality will warp, and I won't be able to start seeing any sort of escape as viable, and I'll just kind of keep going and doing it and prioritizing it higher and higher and spending more and more energy on it. Because that's what really gets me. Like, if it was just an absence of time, no matter how bad that time is, no matter how much of a waste it feels like, no matter how much I'd rather be doing other things, as long as once that time ends, I can go and do those other things, I'm pretty okay with it. But what I was finding as the stress went up and up and up, I would come home and be totally unmotivated to do anything but just like veg around and watch TV, which is terrifying. I really do not want that to become my life, of just working and wasting time, nor do I want to just build up other responsibilities, to necessitate it, to kind of give it some sense of not of if not purpose, then necessity. I don't know. The slide so far has been very depressing, but there is an end in sight. I've talked to my boss about how much I wasn't enjoying this position, and she was very sympathetic. And she arranged for another position to be given to me. Makes a little less money, so this is going to go back down, but I'm totally fine with that. And hopefully this line will go very, very far down, so that even if I'm not really freeing up any additional time, I'll at least be freeing up energy, with which I can work on things like this YouTube channel. So I don't know. I think it's really important to keep like this sort of line in mind. How much money do I really need to be making? And then looking at these sort of trade-offs between stress and money, and realizing that like money isn't the high score. Money isn't what you should be aiming for in all respects of your life. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Job, not great. But there was some other stuff that was pretty fun. Now we're gonna talk about Puberty 2. I think I mentioned this in another video, like in the post-channel deletion area. I talked about Puberty 2. I think in the 10,000 days special, perhaps. So Puberty 2, um, all around July, there was like 5 or 6 events in July that really just kind of shook up my perspective, and how I kind of felt about, how I would live my life. One was talking to my older cousin, who is in a really committed relationship right now and is just extremely happy with that, and very content and satisfied with the direction his life is going, and basically espoused a similar, mainstream happiness as something that I should really consider, and I should kind of look for, as opposed to the sort of things I normally care about, which is like anime. um, and it moved me because, he's someone I really respect, and someone who didn't used to feel this way. So this kind of revelation of the power of love, and the power of this mainstream satisfaction, it felt very convincing coming from him. And then soon after, I went to a wedding, a bachelor party for that wedding, and then the wedding itself, which were both just beautiful, wonderful times spent with dear friends. But you know, it's like a sign of growing up, like that people in my peer group, somebody the same age as me, is getting married, settling down, so to speak. And basically, at the same time, my channel got deleted. It's something else we're going to talk about. So I had a lot more free time that just kind of got dumped on me. And normally I would immediately just start thinking about what kind of projects I could put that into, what kind of things do I want to write, what other kind of mediums do I want to get into, what kind of things can I watch. But instead, this time, kind of bolstered by this sense of like, okay, well, maybe there is something else out there. It seems to be working for billions of other people. Why not me? I went on board with this big Puberty 2 meme, which we talked about at the wedding, and kind of became an in-joke among me and a lot of other friends. So what this meant for me is that I started really caring about my diet some more. I started going to the gym. Um, that's it. Those were the two things I did. And it wasn't clear to me like why I was doing this. I didn't really have any clear goals of like I'm gonna do all of this to get into a relationship. I'm gonna do all of this to make myself uh, better oriented for like a career. Um, Nothing really like that. I just kind of like went in on it without really thinking it all the way through. And I think that sort of strategy actually works better for me than like a rational incremental change instead to just kind of like hop on a big meme wagon because it worked. Like my diet actually significantly improved, and I'm still going to the gym pretty regularly. It's like a work in progress, of course. I'm not in the best of shape yet, but it's helped a lot. Even though I've kind of abandoned the overall meme package and I've totally returned to my original set of priorities, I have retained some of the good habits that I built up during this experiment. So overall, it was good. I know this is the exact opposite advice that normally you get from self-help books, which is normally like small, incremental, consistent change. But sometimes it's worth a try. Like just package up everything you want to try to do, everything you want to just see how it feels. Um, Make it one big mini box and throw yourself at it. I guess this is the sort of thing that often happens around the new year. People making New Year's resolutions, so that's a good opportunity. I'd say it worked for me. Puberty too. By the way, the name Puberty 2 I took from a Mitski album. Mitski is this kind of alt folk rock singer woman. She's great. She had an album called Puberty 2. And then this year, her new album, Be the Cowboy, got the Pitchfork Album of the Year. So good for her. That means in 2019 I have to become a cowboy. That's just how the laws of memes works. So I don't know if you guys were excited for my channel to come back and I would read a bunch of manga, but no, just kidding. The channel's gonna come back and it's about me riding around on a dang horse, saying yeehaw and wearing a big hat. Yep. I don't know. Other puberties to follow, perhaps. But yeah, as I mentioned, another big catalyst of it was the channel getting deleted, which sucked. I was getting to a point where I really felt like the channel was gaining momentum quite quickly. We were getting all sorts of new subscribers and fans. I was broadening the scope of what I wanted to do. I felt like my videos were getting better and better and more interesting. Um, it was great, but then it just, like right before I left on this aforementioned bachelor party, all of that was cut short. Japan hit me with the retaliatory. That's a terrible joke. Japan, there's no other way to say it. They nuked my channel, even though that's a terrible thing to say. They nuked it. I got hit with like 300 copyright takedowns. If you don't know this lore, and all of them were completely deserved because I was just blatantly showing pirated manga on the screen. So we're gonna have to do something about that. In the aftermath of the channel being deleted, I kind of took a second to pause and I thought about, I've been doing this for like 4 years. It's stayed with me through lots of major life changes, from being a student to being a NEET to being a student again to being a full-time office worker. Um, Maybe I should reevaluate, is this something I really want to do? Or is this just something I'm very used to doing and that has kind of this momentum that makes me feel like I have to keep doing it? So I really did think about that over this break. But what I thought about more was making videos. I probably thought about videos I wanted to make every single day of this break. And I thought at first that the purpose of the break should be to go as long as it takes to get me out of that mode, to kind of stop me from always thinking about things in the context of a video I could make. But that's, I don't know, that's boring. I really enjoy the process of thinking about videos I'm going to make, and I enjoy even more getting to make them and sharing them with people and seeing what their responses are. Like more and more, I've started to realize that making videos like this is a really great medium for me. It's something that I really, really enjoy doing and that I think suits my personality quite well. Um, like I realize that I like attention, and it feels very shameful for me to say that, to admit that. But there's nothing actually wrong with wanting attention and enjoying attention, you know? I enjoy telling stories. I enjoy making people laugh. I enjoy sharing things that I like with people and explaining why they might like it too. All of that stuff is great. What I don't like so much is kind of the social side of enjoying attention. I don't like the feeling of trying to call attention to myself. I don't like the feeling of dominating a conversation, boring people, lecturing people, having to worry about whether or not what I'm saying is interesting or just people are too polite to shut me up. On YouTube, you don't have to worry about that. If you were bored right now, you can just close the tab, Control W, it's gone. You won't hear another sentence. That brings me a lot of comfort because I don't really have to worry that much about the audience's retention, or the audience's engagement, because I can just kind of assume the best and keep going. I also really don't like getting attention for like things that I don't like. Like I'm very, very tall. This is a good example. I'm like 6'6". So that always brought me a lot of attention ever since I was a kid. I was much taller than all of my peers. And I hated that. I really hated that. And I think I've conflated that sort of negative attention, which just made me feel very shy and anxious, with like the positive attention I get from sharing something that really interests me in a way that people find compelling. But with YouTube, I can disassociate those things again. Like nobody is clicking on this video because they think I'm tall. It's absurd. You don't even know if I have legs. You don't even know if I have most of a torso. All you can tell is I have shoulders and arms. um, I don't know. I love YouTube for that. There's a great leveling effect to it. And I know that the public opinion on YouTube, and especially the way that YouTube treats creators, isn't in the best place right now. But I still really have to praise YouTube. Like as I said, I really don't like the feeling of demanding attention and trying to um, convince people that what I'm doing is worth listening to. I would rather just do the thing. And YouTube has allowed that. Like, I've never really promoted this channel outside of just uploading videos and titling them. And yet I was able to build almost 1,500 subscribers. Like, that's phenomenal to me. Like, that's something that YouTube has enabled that I can't imagine. Like, the closest analogy would be like a short wave radio operator. But how would somebody even find out about something like that? Like the combination of content discovery algorithms on YouTube, and just kind of the medium that the platform allows for, I think that's a really beautiful thing, and I really want to stay involved with it. So yeah, if it's not obvious that there is a future to this channel, I know at the time I talked about like, well, I'm gonna give it until 2019 at least, and then I'll see what I feel like doing. But I can say for sure, I just want to keep going. I love making videos. I don't want to stop. I love building a community around them. I love seeing comments and getting feedback and learning about new things from the fans that I build. Um, I don't know. I don't think I could stop myself if I wanted to. Even if everyone went away, I'd probably still do it. It's just so much fun. There's so many videos I want to make. I like manga videos. Of course, I want to keep reading manga. I love sharing manga with people. I love sharing the excitement I feel when I read new manga. I want to read even more series than I was reading before. I want to get into whole genres of manga that we haven't touched yet. Um, I want to make a lot more videos about music. I've barely scratched the surface of my interest in music on this channel. There's so much cool music that I find out about every day that I feel like have all of these untapped fans around the world, and I want to do my part to bring that to people as much as I can. I want to talk about mediums that we haven't even talked about yet. I want to talk about fashion. I love fashion. I want to make videos about that. I want to make videos about like art and architecture and stuff I don't even know about. Like I want to learn things through making videos and share that process of learning them with you. I want to make videos on Hamlet. I want to make videos on Mario lore. I want to make videos on those were two examples I was thinking of earlier today, Hamlet and Mario lore. But like, I don't know, lots of things, lots and lots of things. I never want to stop. Of course, the big problem is time, and time, of course, is linked to. Oh no, that was spoilers. This bad boy. Um, so I'm still trying to come up with something for this. Like, ideally, I would work part time. I think I could make it with part-time income, and even just having like an extra day in the week that isn't on a weekend when everybody always wants to do stuff and I have a lot of social obligations. But if I just had like Wednesdays off and I could just spend every Wednesday working on videos, that would be so great, and that wouldn't be a serious financial setback at all. So with the new channel, like I want to put in more effort. I know I've claimed this before. I want to put in more effort with like production quality and stuff. And then once it's kind of like hit another tier, I think I would feel a lot more comfortable monetizing it in some way. I don't know how yet. Patreon, maybe direct donations, maybe ads on the channel, maybe. I still got to think about that stuff. Um, because ideally I wouldn't work at all. I would love to just do this sort of thing for a living. It's not really a feasible dream statistically if you look at the percentage of YouTubers who make it. And it's not really the most reliable source of income either, even if you are someone who makes it, and then that involves you in all sorts of other layers of how YouTube works, and it really incentivizes you to get more traffic. So I'm not really eager to monetize it fully, like as my sole source of income. That kind of freaks me out. But at the same time, I think it would be kind of cool if I could use this to just as much as possible drop off the amount of hours I have to work a normal job, and thus increase the amount of hours that I can spend making videos. So yeah, the channel's coming back. The timeline's going to be something like, as I said before, we're just going to be spamming old videos until you're sick of them. That'll happen all through the Christmas season. On the 27th, I'm going to Japan. That's the next thing we're going to talk about. Probably not really any content from that until I get back. Then hopefully some videos about Japan, stuff I got in Japan, things I did in Japan, looking at pictures I took, all of that good stuff. After that, probably a period where I'm doing mostly like 2018 retrospective videos, like my favorite manga, my favorite albums, stuff like that. Hopefully you're excited about seeing those. And then after all of that, hopefully by then I'll have worked out a solution to the manga reading problem, and we'll go back to reading manga on this channel. Oh my god. More than anything, like more than all these other things I've talked about why I want to make videos, it's the feeling that I've lost when I read manga, that I can't talk about it. I can't share my excitement with anyone. I really miss that, because oh my god, manga is so good right now, you guys. Like especially the new big three shonen series that I'm reading of One Piece, Doctor Stone, and BNHA. All of them have just been in fantastic arcs through pretty much the entire period that I've missed. Kaiji, Toki, um, Saki, mainline Saki is pretty interesting right now too. Lots of things, lots and lots of things. Probably around the time when I start reading manga again, we'll do some retrospectives to talk about the things that we've passed over. Maid Dragon's been crazy. Everything's been crazy. It's like somehow all the mangaka knew. Oh, that annoying kid is not blathering on and on about our showers anymore. Now we can do the interesting stuff. Oh, I got tricked. But yeah. So I don't know. That's my year. Maybe it doesn't sound that interesting. But most of the time I was working at a job. I was working at a job and I was making YouTube videos. Then everything changed. I was working at a job and going to the gym. And now it's gonna go back to working at a job and making YouTube videos. Like really, I complain a lot about time, and at first I was worried. It's like, okay, I gained some good habits through this whole puberty 2 meme, but now I have even less time to work on videos and stuff if I end up going back to that. But it's more about like just removing totally wasted time. And what leads to that, I think, is stress. That I get really stressed out at work. I don't have any energy left. I'm feeling kind of miserable about everything. And I just go home and do nothing. Those are the times I really have to delete. Those are the times that I have to replace. And it's okay to spend time to relax. Like, I'm not going to try to turn myself into an always on 24/7 dynamo. But at the very least, on days where I just feel like relaxing, there's like little things I can do. There's kind of easier tasks or easier videos I can make, that I can just do first, you know, and that I can still feel good about doing them and not just like totally miserable and stressed out and hopeless. And I think this whole job situation resolving where this is going to go back down, hopefully, will help a lot with that. So it does add up. Like I should the math works out that I should be able to do everything I want and still work the full-time job. But we'll see. Really though, I've hinted at this a few times, but the most exciting part of the year is still to come, and that is the upcoming trip to Japan. I'm leaving on December 27th. That's 15 days from the day that I'm recording this video. By the time it uploads, it's going to be even closer. I'll probably make another video after this, just about Japan hype in general, but I am really, really looking forward to it. And yeah, I guess that's it for this. 2018. It's not over yet, but from here on out, it's all going to be like Christmas stuff or Japan stuff, so it's like the normal part of the year has ended. Alright, that's all for now. Bye bye.